Thank you for tuning in to The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. You can purchase a private psychic reading by going to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. If you want spiritual guidance to learn how to work with your ancestors, or you're interested in deepening your spiritual experiences, then subscribe to our Patreon. You can get these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date. That's patreon.com/Black Spectrum Network. We're about to go ahead and shuffle the tarot cards about the rap group, the City Girls. So, as you all know, my favorite rapper is Kaya. I got her Thug Mrs. album, Gangstress album, and Nasty Music. I made sure to get Nasty Music back when I was 18. I'm now 28, so that being said, just a big fan of Kaya. So, who are you a big fan of as a rapper? Okay, so we're going to look at the childhood of JT. Her childhood growing up. Okay, so JT's childhood so far. JT was annoying as a kid. And I see here that she was annoying as a child to her family. Maybe it was a mother that I feel that she I feel that JT talked a lot, and it may have she was always aggravating her mother. I'm also saying here that with this particular individual, JT, she was someone that was always in her mom's relationships, trying to see, looking out. How do I say this? She was someone that when her mom brought her boyfriends, when her mom would bring a guy around that she was dating, JT was always criticizing the man, wanting for her mom to be protected, wanting for her mom not to be used by another gentleman. And I'm also saying here for the star card where they're saying that JT was someone that she did pray a lot. She as a child, she did have a belief in God. I feel that even though her family may not have been particularly religious, from these cards I see that JT was someone that learned a lot about God. But at the same time, I see that JT was mainly concerned with the gentleman that her mom would bring around. And I don't see her mom in these cards, but I see that she has a very deep affection for her mom. Money was short, but I also see that her mom made ends meet. She brought in money from unexpected places. I'm also saying here that her dad was in and out of her life, but it does look like her dad really does love her, and I feel that he walked away from. I feel JT's dad walked away from her, and he also walked away from JT's mom as well. So I don't see him being around. I see that JT felt alone at home, and so she found her charisma through making other people laugh at school and just trying to be a popular girl. And eventually she started developing an appetite for relationships, and she started to focus more on having a boyfriend than she did on trying to make things better with her family. I get that she was someone that was very attached to her family in her younger years, but as she got older, she started to work more towards her own independence. And I'm also saying here where she got into lots of fights with people. She was usually the victor. I'm saying her as someone that's able to fight. Like, these are physical altercations, and I feel like this may be like in an apartment complex, is what they're showing me. Also saying where JT for a while she's been trying to, I guess you could say her father's reaching out to her recently, and because of her success, and she's trying to keep it a positive outlook on the trajectory of where things could go between the two of them. Things go back and forth a lot. So he reaches out as much as he can. She will sometimes pick up, she sometimes doesn't, and it makes sense given that he was wishy-washy with being present in her life as much as he needed to be at the time. In her household, she spent a lot of time outside of the home because there was so much fighting within it, and I do see her coming home late. I don't really see a curfew. I do see that she had a lot of female friends, two women in particular. One, this may be the other girl in the City Girls. Y'all know I just learned a City Girls song like last week. I didn't know it was Act Up, You Can Get Smashed Up. I was like, damn, that's the City Girls? I did not know that. All these songs just sound like they sound like the music out today sounds like it's made for a movie soundtrack. I'm also saying here with JT that they're saying that that she was always a big spender. I've been seeing her creatively acquiring clothing and shoes, makeup, and paying discounted prices for those things, or sometimes not paying for those things at all. I'm also seeing here where I get that she's someone that's very spiritual, but she feels like she doesn't have direction, that she knows that there is a God. She believes that God is out there. I don't think that she's actively searching for a God, but she does have a desire to figure out more about the universe, the paranormal. And she was interested in those things at a young age, but she just didn't explore them. I feel that she thinks that she is the child of an affair. So this could either mean that her father is not her paternal father. Like her dad is not her paternal father. But I also feel that it could also mean that she knows that her mom was involved in an affair with her father at the time. It's either one of the two. So you all would have to confirm for me. Okay, so the other thing that I see here from these cards is that JT was someone that found it difficult to stand alone as a kid. She was someone that latched on to other people because she had a big personality, and she was afraid of how big her personality was. So she would become a part of an ensemble group of other people that are really cool, so that she could escape. An individualized type of scrutiny delivered to her from her peers. So I get that she feels like she needs to be in groups of people to feel more safe, to feel a part of the community. I don't know if she's an Aquarius, but I do see that she learned more from the streets and from her girlfriends at school and outside of school than she did from her family. Okay, so let's look at, so that was JT. Who was the other person? Young Miami. That's her name, Young Miami. Okay, so we're now going to look at Young Miami. So between the City Girls, who is your favorite, JT or Young Miami? If I saw them, I would not know who they were. You know, I don't even know what they look like. I saw that twerk video with Cardi B. I need a slim fine woman with some twerk with a twerk with a twerk with a. I saw that video, but I don't know who they are. I knew who Cardi B was, but I really can't remember the video, and I'm gay, so all that ass shaking and shit wasn't really doing nothing for me. It was fun to watch. Okay, so what about Young Miami? Okay, so it looks like Young Miami. It looks like Young Miami may have had both of her parents in her life, and I get that her dad was there, and he was a very strong authoritative figure, but I also get that he and her mom were not particularly romantic with each other. I feel that they operated more as a unit, and because her mom is very submissive, she allowed for whatever her dad said went, and I feel that Young Miami felt that she was very trapped and tied up by the expectations of her parents, and she never felt as though she had she never felt as though her voice was being heard. And I see at the same time where they dismissed a lot of her feelings and told her to use more logic. For example, she could explain to her dad that he said something hurt her feelings, but he would return back to, he would deliver back to her, you shouldn't allow anybody to hurt your feelings. No one should be able to make you feel any sort of way, right? So that is true, but it also is not nurturing. So from these particular cards, I see that she feels that her parents did a great job at trying to raise her to be hip to the game and to not have people get over on her. But I'm also seeing here where she wanted to feel more connected to her parents. Okay, these cards are saying that she was not particularly smart in school, that she actually she had some issues learning, and I feel like she was a class clown, and in order to hide some of those things, she felt that she needed to entertain people via making them happy. But I also get here that in her family, I get that her family doesn't really care to be educated in the traditional way that an American would be educated. So I feel like she never felt like that there was something wrong with her for those reasons. And I'm also seeing here from these cards that, okay, she doesn't exactly know, like when she was younger, she didn't know who she was going to become, what she was going to do. I get that she was kind of just coasting about life, but at the same time, I get from her that she was a baby lion. She's been a Simba, and she had to learn how to become queen of the jungle, or king of the jungle even. She felt like her father encouraged for her to be a loner. For her not to trust people, but at the same time, I see that her dad helped her. Her dad role modeled for her, I guess, what good treatment from a gentleman would look like, or at least what it looks like for a guy to financially take care of you. And she has that expectation because of what her dad taught her, and then how he demonstrated that for the mom. So her mom was a fly chick, and they're saying the influence of her mom is one where, her mom would tell her all these, these things were given to you by God. God brought this, to us, and look at what he did. We went from, we went from broke to, rich or whatever. And rich is relative, because I see that for them, having $10,000 in your savings account can make you feel rich. So that being said, I feel very strongly right now that the mom was, I want to say the mom was kind of fast sexually. So I get that the mom was okay having sex for, different goods, whether it was a nice purse, a nice outfit, or even, a meal. It's not, it's kind of like her mom helped her to be hip to the game by not exactly telling her what to do, but she didn't hide from young Miami what she, how she came about acquiring these material possessions. Young Miami could, for example, overhear her mom on the phone conversing with one of her girlfriends and talking about, hey, I met with this guy, and he took me out on a date, and guess what? I did what I needed to do to get some money from him. I also see that young Miami has been pregnant before. She was pregnant by a gentleman that was from overseas, or he had family from overseas, and I see that I don't know if she has a kid. So if she does have a kid right now, then okay, that would make sense. But if she doesn't have a kid, then we know what that means. But I do see where she had gotten pregnant from a guy that was older than her. Yeah, and that pregnancy broke her heart. that pregnancy broke her heart because she felt like this guy was supposed to, you know, marry her or at least want to be with her because she had the kid, and he was like, oh hell no, this is not, this is too early for me. He knew that he couldn't be with her. He was saying to himself, I know that he's saying to himself, I know that we both have better coming for us, but this may not be what either of us needs right now. So you all draw the conclusion for me. Does she have the kid? Does she not have a kid? Because if she doesn't, then you know what's up. Okay, so it is just a little bit hot, a tiny bit hot in this apartment. And as you know, I've got to say, hold on, so that I can turn on some air. Hold on. Okay, so I am back. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into the next question. All right, so the next question is, do they write their lyrics? So we want to know, do the City Girls write their lyrics? What is your favorite City Girls song? I only know two, Twerk and Act Up. And they may have other music, but I don't know any. Okay, so do they write their own lyrics? No. No, they don't. There's a woman, an older woman, like an adult, like let's say these people are in there, they're like 19 or whatever. This woman's probably like in her mid 30s. She's an established writer who helps to write for them, and they pay her to write their lyrics, but they don't come up with them themselves. I see that when they have tried to write their own lyrics, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but when they have written their own lyrics, they were turned down by the label or by the person that is responsible for determining if their lyrics are good or not. I don't know who that would be. They're saying that if they wrote their own lyrics, it would not be too profitable, and it could eliminate their opportunities to travel and tour. I'm saying here that they pay people, but one of them is trying to learn how to write. One of them is very interested in trying to learn how to write. Is it, what's her name? JT? Is it JT? JT would be interested in trying to learn how to be a writer so that she could have residual income in the future. But no, they don't write their lyrics. Okay, so the next question that we're going to ask is, when is JT getting out of jail? Okay, when is JT getting out of jail? I think it's going to be. It looks like it could be. I feel like it could be 2020 for her to get out of jail, but they are saying that she's awaiting. It looks like she's either awaiting a sentencing at this time, and she knows where things can go. I feel like they have enough evidence against her at this time they have enough evidence to find her guilty on the counts, but I get that she's gonna spend a lot of time while she's in jail. I see that they may be considering an early release for good behavior. It could be in about another, as of today, I'm recording this video on July the 2nd. It could be about another 9 months before we see her out. Nevertheless, I do see where she is going to be on a probationary status, and she's going to have limited ability to travel. I see that she's waiting on more money to come to help appeal a sentence or help to pay for an attorney. I'm not sure where things are. Like if she's in jail right now and she's just waiting to get bailed out or whatever. But there's a guy that she's in a relationship with that she's waiting on when she gets out of jail. But by the time she gets out of jail, this gentleman is going to be single and not wanting to be with her.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. 'Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh.